Hello, we are Team ZeitX, and our problem statement title is Graphical Password Authentication. Today, passwords may be found on almost every platform and website. However, remembering so many complicated passwords, especially on so many different websites, appears to be a daunting task. Therefore, we have created a project displaying a graphical password approach. This will allow the user to create passwords in the form of a graphical presentation in a certain pattern, and then log into the system using that pattern. It can be tough for a user to remember multiple passwords from various websites. So, instead of setting a password, we can present users with a graphical password authentication system, in which they must choose graphical objects in a specific order to maintain it as their password.
Here, the user has to select from images in a specific order presented to them in a graphical user interface. According to study, the human brain has a great capability of remembering what they see rather than alphabetic characters. Let's say a user has selected images of 5 flowers in a certain pattern, like lily followed by rose and then marigold, lotus and dahlia, and this has created a unique password which the user don't have to remember. Next time, whenever the user tries to log in, he or she has to select the same pattern from the shuffled images as he or she had chosen initially. To avoid difficulty in remembering long passwords for different sites, we go on with the same elements like our pet name, birth year, and some fixed characters with slight changes. But in such way, there is a chance of breaching. But this type of authentication is difficult to break as brute force search or dictionary attacks are invisible, and the security of the system is high and more human friendly.
We have done this project using HTML, CSS, JavaScript and PHP. We have provided a fixed set of images for the user to choose from for his or her password. The user can use one or many of these images anytime to create his password. When he tries to log in on page every time, the images are shuffled, but the user has to select the password in the same order that he has provided. We have also added an option showing the user whether his password is weak, medium or strong. Whenever a user registers his username and password and confirms his password, his data is stored in a database, and whenever he tries to log in, his inputs are verified from the database. If the login credentials are correct, he is directed to the required website, but if they are wrong, he is provided with an error message and is asked to input his credentials again.
Coming to the use case of graphical password authentication system, firstly the user has to open the website to create his account. Now after opening the website, he will find the sign up option. Clicking it will redirect to a new sign up window in which the user will find three fields, namely username, name and password. The user has to fill the corresponding name and username and select the photos in a particular pattern as the graphical password. Now the user has to click continue and then he has to click confirm the password again and then click sign up. Now after clicking the sign up, if the username field is empty, then the user will get an alert regarding the empty username field. Otherwise, if the email ID already exists in our database, that is the user already has an account, then the user gets an alert, namely email ID already exists. If the email ID doesn't exist in our database before, then the user account gets created. Now the user has to click login option and then he has to enter the username and select the pictures in the same pattern as in the time of sign up. Now after clicking the login button, if the credentials are correct, then the user will be navigated to the dashboard page, else the user will get an invalid credentials alert.
Now let's give you the demo of our website. So this is our index page. By clicking top right button, we will go to login sign up section. Now let's create one account by going to sign up section. Here we have to fill email ID, name and then create password by selecting images in a specific pattern. On clicking next, we have to confirm our password and then on clicking create account, our account is created. Now let's log in by going to login section. We have to fill email ID and select password to login. And on successful login, we come to dashboard page.
Since no work can be perfect, some of the dependencies that our project faces is that it is system specific, and as we have to store the user details, we need a large database management system. Now coming to the showstoppers, our website does not have two-factor authorization and forget password feature. It was a wonderful experience for all of us working in this project, and we would like to thank the Institute Innovation Council for giving us a chance to participate in this hackathon.